Hey, Kevin. So let me take you through what your training program is going to look like going forward. So for this, you're going to need to download the Google Drive on your smartphone so that you can utilize it when you will work out in club. So you're going to log into your Google Drive. You're going to double tap on your program, just labeled with your first and last name. Once you double tap on your program, you're going to see, rather than seeing a monthly plan like we had before, on this type of template, you're going to have a weekly tab, Monday through Sunday. On this weekly tab, you're going to see what your lifts look like during the week for both strength and hypertrophy. So in this case, we have you squatting on Monday, benching on Tuesday, squatting on Wednesday, benching on Thursday, and deadlifting on Friday. That's only your strength lifts. Now for your hypertrophy work, which is your accessory work, I have you doing lower body 1 on Monday, upper body 1 on Tuesday, lower body 2 on Wednesday, upper body 2 on Friday, and back, hamstrings, and arms on Friday. All of that is going to be labeled on the tabs below, just taking you through the weekly schedule. Now, if you rather bench on Monday and squat on Tuesday, or change a few things up on this schedule, or make your Saturday a lifting day and Sunday and Monday a day off, or however you want it, you can always update it, or you can write notes underneath, and I can make that adjust that schedule so it fits for the days that you want to do your lifts. Now, under the strength portion, there's a tab that is just for strength. And as you know, strength lifts is the first lift in your program. So we're going to start really easy week 1 so you can crush it, and I can get a feel of where your strength level is week by week. So each week, I'm going to update a new lift underneath, like right here. I will do, going into the week of October 9th, you're going to have a new week of lifting with new weights, depending on how you perform this current week. So I have you squatting on Mondays and Wednesdays. If you need a video reference, you can just go towards the squat section and you'll have a video reference. The rep range for Monday is 2x8, whereas Wednesday, you're going to be doing 2x4 at a higher weight, and then 2x4, you're going to drop down about 10 pounds or so. Now, if you scroll towards the right, you're going to see the next lift. I have you benching on Tuesdays and benching on Thursdays. So I'll just add that here, so you have that as a reference, so you know you're benching both days, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays, 2x8, it's more volume day. You can see how many pounds of volume you're doing here. And Thursdays is more strength focus, where your volume is a little higher. I'm sorry, a little lower, but as a whole, when you add both of them, it should be higher than your volume, than your high volume day. And you're doing more sets too. 2x4 at the heavier set, and then 2x4 at the lighter set. And then Friday, you have your deadlift day. Same thing, the weights are meant so you crush them. It is the first week of this training block, so you should be able to crush it. So the heavier set is 2x4, and the lighter set is 3x4. Now, the next thing you're going to find on the strength portion, how I can coach you remotely and be able to be very precise on the amount of weight that you're going to do the next week, is based on the number that you give me here for RPE. So under the yellow line, for every week, you're going to record a number that goes from 0 to 10. And that's going to tell me what your strength level is for the specific lift. That way, I know how to progress or regress each lift week by week. Obviously, because I will have a very accurate number from you, I'm going to always be able to progress you rather than regress you, unless other variables in life happen, like you miss a week or you get hurt or anything in between. However, that number from 0 to 10 for the RPE is what's going to help me really be very precise on what your weights will be week to week. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I know what number to write down for the RPE? For that, I have this RPE reference tab that you can click on, and this will give you the scale from 1 to 10 and tell you what each number means. So for instance, if you could only do 3, if you felt like after your set you had 3 more reps left in you before you hit failure, then that RPE would be an RPE of a 7. Retrospect, if you felt like you had 2 more reps left in you before you go into failure, then that RPE is 8. And then if you're not sure, if you're in between 2 or 3 reps before you hit failure, then you can give it a 7.5. Now, for the first 3 weeks of this program, your RPE is probably going to be anywhere between probably as low as a 4 and as high as a 7.5. Your RPEs for the first 3 weeks for all your main lifts will not hit an 8, or it shouldn't hit an 8. If it does, then we'll know that we overdid it that week, and I'll know to bring it a little lower, bring the loads a little lower going into the next week. Now, these weights should be pretty accurate because I'm referencing these weights off based on the last program that you did. So I'm very confident that these weights are going to be accurate. So your RPE should be between a 4 and a 7 for all lifts. Now, going back to your weekly schedule. So once you do your strength set, obviously, then you have your hypertrophy portion, which is your resistance portion. Now, I have changed your hypertrophy portion based on 2 counts. The first count, when I talked to Dr. Brian, he mentioned that you do have really good thoracic mobility, which is great for your golf game. But he also noticed an opportunity to lengthen your spine to ensure that you're protected, especially since you have spinal stenosis, as well as to just have more length, better scapular protraction and retraction when you do any sort of benching, pulling exercise, or swinging the club. So I'm adding more exercises that are going to help you lengthen your spine and have more mobility through your scapula. Your rotation looks very solid, but now we want to get more scapular mobility. Now, from a hypertrophy standpoint, I'm giving you more volume on your lifts, and I'm being very conscious about adding more variety for your back exercises and your deltoids. So you can build more of an upper pec like you want to, shoulders, and a wider back. And that's more so for the lower body day. So you'll notice the week of 10-2, which is a Sunday, on Monday the 3rd, I have you starting out with after you do your squats, I have you doing some hanging high knees. That goes with a focus of lengthening your spine. It also works out your core quite well. It's definitely a challenging core exercise. The superset is Bulgarian split squats. I really like this one for you because we're really focusing on spinal stability, core strengthening, and obviously getting the most out of a split squat for each leg, so to keep you balanced. Then I have you doing a superset of heels elevated kettlebell goblet squats. And as you can see, each one of these has a little video reference. And we are supersetting these elevated goblet squats with body weight hyperextensions that they all have a video reference. And then lastly, on this day 1, I have you doing Stagger stance kettlebell suitcase deadlift. Really like this one for your core and for your hip mobility. And I have you supersetting that with some leg extensions for your quads, just to give you that extra volume to get those legs a little more muscular and stronger. So that's an example of Monday, day 1. Tuesday, day 2, after you do your benching, this is where I'm adding more scapular mobility. So the dumbbell flat bench pullover, I'm going to have you do a pullover on a flat bench. The reason for that is to have your shoulders work a little more, as well as your scapula when it comes to that mobility. The pullover is a great exercise that hits both your chest and your back. I'm supersetting that with decline dumbbell presses. The reason I'm giving you some decline dumbbell presses is because I'm having you do a lot of delt work and a lot of push work that is mostly strict over your head or an incline. So this is the only decline press work that I'm giving you, and I really like how this one combines with a pullover from an exercise specificity standpoint. Then the next superset that I have for you is a barbell fundraise. The barbell fundraise is one of my favorite exercises to build shoulder mass and width. This one, I'm gonna progress you little by little. Just doing the 45-pound barbell alone is a lot of weight for the barbell fundraise. If that becomes too much, you can always right here on the notes section tell me how, if that was too heavy. If it is, we can go down to either 30 or 35 pounds using the easy bar curl, the easy bar. Then the next superset that I have you doing is alongside of barbell fundraise, I have you doing half kneeling, single arm kettlebell row. Again, adding more specificity on for your back workouts, as well as creating more scapular mobility from that angle that I have you doing these half kneeling single arm high cable rows. And then the last superset is a seated barbell military press. Another one of my favorite ones for building a bigger upper pec and bigger and wider shoulders. So it's a seated barbell military press, supersetting with a split stance contra ipsilateral cable row. Now, this one is a game changer, especially if you're looking for more explosion in your golf swing, as well as better scapular mobility, both protraction and retraction. I guess at this point, you're getting a theme of a lot of scapular work. And getting more scapular mobility is also going to help you build your shoulder. So I really like the way this program is gonna sit for you. Wednesday, back to a lower body day. After you hit your squats, I'm having you do a superset of double rack kettlebell walking lunges, an advanced moving plank where you're moving your full body in a clock and counterclockwise position. Some anti-rotation half kneeling medicine ball slams to really focus on that rotational swing without moving the torso, and really focusing on stability, not only from your hip, but also your trunk. Then I'm adding some split stance suitcase kettlebell deadlifts, very similar to what I have in day one, but a little less volume on lower body 2. And the last superset is a kettlebell side lunge to clean. And this one's just to add a little more intricacy and explosion for your legs from a frontal plane. So we don't keep you so we don't only do sagittal things. My goal is to keep you moving in all planes of motion to continue to keep your athleticism. And then the last one is very genetic, just a seated leg extension, just to focus on getting more cuts on your leg. Day 3 would be upper body 2 on Thursday, and that's right after you hit your bench press, the day that you do the heavier bench press. So for that one, I have you starting out with neutral grip pull-ups, again, more so for your scapular extension, protraction, and retraction. Supersetting that with some cable lateral raises, again, hitting up those deltoids and that upper pec. The next superset is a high leverage high row, really a great one to get more extension from your scapula, as well as get deeper into that lat and serrators. I really love the leverage high row. And I'm supersetting that with some dumbbell chest flies, some good old dumbbell chest flies to continue to not neglect that chest and help you build a nice denser chest. And then the last superset is a narrow grip seated row. And as you can see on the video, when you watch this video, there's gonna be full range of motion for protraction as you do the starting point, and a lot of retraction on your scapula as you're pulling the handle towards your body. Again, keeping that theme of protraction, retraction of your scapula. And then that one's gonna be supersetted with some dumbbell front raises. A little different feel from the barbell front raises. These ones are gonna feel very easy compared to the barbell front raises, which is why I'm gonna give you more volume for this one. Now, the last day of your lifts is going to be your deadlift. So once you finish your strength sets for your deadlifts, the 2x4 really heavy and the 3x4 10 pounds lighter, then you're going to have a day where you're going to hit up for your accessory work, back, hamstrings, and arms. So the first one is going to be a superset for mostly your hamstrings and your calves. So it's going to be some elevated dumbbell goblet squats, supersetting with some standing calf raise. So hitting that posterior chain of your body. The second one is going to be a barbell bent over row. So I'm going to switch into back now. Supersetted with some straight bar cable tricep press downs, which is a little bit of arms. I like supersetting the barbell bent over row into press downs because the tricep's still going to be very fresh after doing those rows. Next superset, I have you doing some cable pull-throughs, going back to that hamstring and back action for you, and some lying leg curls just to reinforce that hamstring. Because the first two lower body days is a lot of quad action, so I want to get some hamstrings involved in this one. That's why I'm putting the cable pull-throughs, lying leg curls, standing calf raises, and all of that. And then the last one is going to be a back and arm superset where I'm going to have you do some wide grip seated rows. This time, not so much focusing on the protraction and retraction of your scapula, but more on the width and getting your back really wide, since we're doing a lot for your deltoids and shoulders to get wider. This is a nice complement to that. And finishing up with some good old dumbbell bicep curls. Biceps are probably not going to be as taxed from doing the wide grip seated rows, so you should have plenty in the bank to hit those bicep curls. Now, as opposed from your strength sets, when you do your hypertrophy work, your RPEs, you're not recording any RPEs, but I already have it set as the RPEs should be anywhere between 7.5 to a 9. Specifically, the first 3 weeks, your RPEs on your accessory work are going to be closer to a 9, meaning you might have maybe just one more rep left in the bank. Now, if I'm to scroll down, you can see that each tab can be collapsed when you hit the minus, and you can open it by hitting the plus sign. Just like that. Now, I will not update week 2 until I have an update from you on how week 1 went. Because if you put any notes about the lifts of week 1, if something was too easy or too hard, then I will want to adjust that going into week 2. Again, that's how my remote clients usually do best, if I update it week by week, as opposed of how we were doing before, where you have the whole program. The week by week basis is not only more intentional for your lifestyle, but also more efficient when it comes to the results that you can expect from this program. So when you see week 2 empty, that's because I will need an update from you for week 1. That pretty much breaks down what the lifting program looks like from the schedule. So you know what your strength lifts are and what your hypertrophy lifts are. And the tab for strength, which also gets updated in a weekly basis, and a tab for hypertrophy. And your reference of RPEs so that you know specifically what number to record for under your strength section on the yellow portion. I do my program updates every Sunday. So you can expect the program update between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. on Sundays. So the next update I'm going to give you is going to be this Sunday. Gotta check the date. October 8th. So the Sunday, October 8th is going to be the next update I'm going to put up for you. So you're ready to go. Additionally, with each one of my updates, I usually drop an audio clip explaining how and why I did that update. So that way you have a really good understanding. And then I'll reshare the program updated. Now you have my cell number, you have my email address. You can always email me, call me, or text me if you need any further assistance aside from my weekly audio clip and recap. Well, that's all I got for you today, Kevin. I hope that you enjoy this program. and that we can keep this going. So I'm going to give you the first 4 weeks complimentary, because you're having such a good client, and I'm really invested on your goals, and I want to see you succeed. Hope you enjoy it, and let me know if you have any questions going forward. Thank you.